This is your man's the man about town, Petty Murphy, reporting to you live from the back of the classroom with Akata News Network. What is that? Wait a minute. Stay tuned. Breaking news.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
We got our hands on the raw footage of Kamala Harris's 60 Minutes interview. Last October, in the heat of the election, Harris, Hail Mary with CBS. But the network was caught deceptively editing this answer. Watch.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening. The Wall Street Journal said that that your administration has repeatedly been blindsided by Netanyahu. And in fact, he has rebuffed just about all of your administration's entreaties.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region. And we're not going to stop doing that. We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Trump sued CBS for $10 billion, and it looks like they might settle. But before that happens, the FCC released the full interview, unedited, and we have the tape. They talked for an hour and left a lot out. Here's an answer that never made air. Watch.
I'm trying to understand how it is that with this emphasis on the border, the numbers of crossings quadrupled under the first 3 years of the Biden-Harris administration. How did that happen?
There are a variety of factors that relate to what we have seen globally and what we are not immune from at our own border in terms of what we have seen in terms of surge of immigration and irregular migration. And there are solutions at hand, but we've got to have leaders who are solution-oriented, which we've been and are.
CBS also cut out their host pressing Kamala on how she's going to pay for all of her giveaways.
If all of this makes so much sense, why has this not been done? You're dealing with a Congress that is divided, that many are in opposition to not only you but your policies. So how are you going to make this come true?
Bill, if I approached my life as though, well, it's never been done before, therefore it cannot be done, I wouldn't be sitting here in this interview with you. That's the truth.
Then 60 Minutes tossed Kamala a big fat softball, and she swung and missed. Kamala wasn't the only one having a rough night. One of the crew guys misgendered Madam Vice President.
Is that what you needed?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
The African American community. Why not say then, this is for you? This is for African Americans. If there was a banking crisis, then you target money for the banks. If there was a national disaster, you target your money for the national for disaster relief.
That's not how America.
Why not?
We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem, and the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. As president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need.
Listen to Bibi's response, because prepare yourself. What he is saying is that they are about to launch a psychological war on Americans. Take a listen to what he says.
Christian influencers, okay? You said, you talked about the woke right, and you said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich, because these people, you know, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane, they're loonies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay, and you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are in social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. That's very good. And, you know, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends, or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpart? Yes.
Okay, so like we're allowed to say Israel controls the media now. Okay, I think that's just like on camera. Now there will be no dispute about this.
So I guess my question for you guys is, now that I've made you aware that these riots are not about illegals and they're not about immigrants, if they did, they would have been protesting under Barack Obama, who's also dubbed the deporter-in-chief. And frankly, I think many of you would say that Barack Obama was a good president. Are you going to say that Barack Obama wasn't a good president? Yes or no, Governor Walz? Do you think he was a good president?
Do I think Barack Obama was a good president? I think he did a good job.
Okay, how about you, Governor Pritzker?
I think he did a good job. Yes.
Hochul, and yes, he did do a good job.
Okay, next. Perryman?
I think President Obama did a good job.
So then you would understand that Barack Obama had the very same policies, for the most part, on immigration that Republicans are parroting today, and yet you guys are sitting here saying that we're Gestapo. And what I would tell you is that what happens with open borders is that the real people that are coming here, the ones that are exploited, actually it hurts people on both sides, not just Americans, but the illegals. Some of you had said here to the actual committee that you are doing what you can to assist these people. But what I would say is that your policies aren't actually done from a place of understanding and sympathy. I would say that it's actually doing the exact opposite. And when you use brown people, just like they use black people with BLM and Marxists during BLM to usher that in, when you use brown people and you put Mexican flags with them saying that you stand up for illegal immigrants, but you follow the money and it's going back to the Communist Party, what you're essentially doing is using your platform as elected officials, the trust that the American people have put in you, essentially to usher in communism. You're not actually fighting for American values. Don't roll your eyes, because it's a serious topic and that's where the money's coming from.
Do you know what's crazy is that when people say Obama only deported criminals, do you remember the time that they tried to blame the cages that were made by Obama onto Donald Trump? So you're telling me the 5 million people that were deported by Obama were all criminals? And not to mention the only president to remove more non-citizens than any other president in American history. Do you realize how brainwashed people really are? Do you realize that the media is the ones in charge of all this? They are the ones that put out what they want you to see. And they will push on a script over and over and over again until people are believing what they want you to believe. And for a while, they were surfacing all over the media that it was Trump with the cages. And till this day, some people still believe that Trump was the one that built these cages, when clearly it was Obama. So you're telling me all these people that were in cages were criminals? When are people gonna realize that the media is only there just to make money and to sway their propaganda, even though sometimes it would not be the truth? But what are your honest thoughts on this? Don't forget to follow for more news and finance information. God bless.
Yeah, what's cracking? So yeah, you already see what it is. And what you literally just witnessed was a masterclass of the PSYOP, right? You know that old saying, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see? Well, you're seeing that shit literally play out in real time. And what's crazy is, and I've said this before and I say it all the time, you gotta turn off that fucking boob tube and unplug. When you wanna actually do your own due diligence, you need to go look for the actual written record. Or when you see clips on the news or on social media, you have to go look for the actual interviews or press conference or whatever they was at and watched it in its full entirety from start to finish. Because what happens is when they want to push an agenda, they'll take a 60-minute speech, right, or press conference. They'll whittle all that shit down to 10, 15 seconds, and they'll take a portion here and a portion there and a portion there, and with that Hollywood magic, with that holly tree wand, bing! The next thing you know, you got somebody saying some shit or pushing a narrative that they never said or even intended in the first place. And the problem is that because we're emotional beings, once we see or we hear something that will elicit or solicit a certain emotional response out of us, or we get triggered, we automatically off to the races. And after that, nobody wants to hear shit because it becomes, I don't care. They don't care that they're being lied to. They don't care that they're being used. They don't care that their resources are being literally sucked straight out their fucking veins like a vampire and given out. Just freely just given out all over the fucking world by the people that they elect to actually serve them. Remember, these people are public servants. So if they're public servants and they're elected officials, which are elected by the people to serve the people who are actually the government, that means you and I, then why is it they doing what the fuck they want to do? Why is it that they're holding their own constituency hostage so they can get more money for illegal aliens when American citizens are the ones actually suffering? Why is that? And this is supposed to be the party of the people. And again, when I had a conversation with my people the other day, it was, oh, just say that you support Trump and blah. Nigga, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that there's a complete psyop going on. All of us are being lied to and nobody gives a fuck or wants to pay attention. But then, when you listen to what they say, you're ready to go to war with your fellow fucking countrymen over lies, bullshit, and propaganda. And then the crazy shit is that you can show people all the propaganda. And I don't know if it's that they're upset because, oh, I've been lied to and I got and they feel stupid. Or if they really want to feel the way they want to feel and the truth doesn't fucking matter. But at some point, the truth and what's right will always present itself. It's almost like an internet, right? You know how they write algorithms that make the internet, but it has this self-correcting error code in there so that if anything goes wrong, it will automatically do its own algorithm, correct whatever the problem is to keep the internet up and running. It's the same shit with reality. So when someone tries to shift or create an unnatural response out of the natural order that comes out of the chaos that is the universe, it will automatically self-correct. And if you pay attention to what's going on now, that's what you're seeing. But if we do not go along with the flow of the correction, then what happens is you have two opposing forces, which causes a dissonance instead of a resonance. And then things will get progressively worse. Ladies and gentlemen, read the fucking room. Pay attention. It's time for us to get out of our emotions. Yes, we were all lied to. We've all been lied to about a lot of shit. History, politics, religion. They've been lying about everything. Why? To keep us in control. And what's the best way to control the people? To keep them not paying attention to what the real threat is, but to keep them going at each other over shit that don't fucking matter. Right now, America was on lockdown and a standstill because you have a certain segment of the population that thinks that their tax dollars should go to illegal aliens who entered the country through no point of entry. That is against the law. So when the man in the upcoming administration said, we're going after criminals first, if you broke the law, that makes you a criminal. But again, people don't seem to process and actually understand words and what they mean when two people are having an interactive conversation, because people don't listen for understanding, inner or overstanding. They just listen to rebut. Because most people just want to debate because their minds are already made up. They don't care what anyone else thinks. They don't care what the truth is. The only thing that matters is how they feel. And because we've gotten to a point where we're letting civilization be led by feelings and emotions versus facts and rule and order, we're at where we're at now. And the further we go down this road, the worse it's going to get. And what's crazy is it's easy and it's fast to get to a point that you realize like, oh shit, we've gone too far. But once you have to correct it, because remember, it took us so long to get here, through years and years of mental programming on some MK Ultra shit, showing us the same images on TV and in movies and in music and in commercial, pumping this shit all through the school system, indoctrinating the minds of the children young so that when they grow up, they become woke adults. And there was a time when I was like, yeah, I'm woke. Well, what is the state of being woke? A person that is awake. And what happens at awake? It's a celebration of the dead. And that's basically what motherfuckers are saying without even realizing it. You woke because you're walking around brain dead. And in a literal upward moving, functioning, but conscious sleep. We as a collective are fucking sleep. And until we actually rise and open our eyes and realize that they've been pumping us full of real lies, we're going to continue down this progression of complete and utter fuckery. I don't know what else to say, but I will continue to do this. And I know that certain angry niggas will continue to call or text my phone, talking their little shit. But the fact of the matter is that I'm presenting you with facts. Because you know, no one's ever deported more illegal aliens than Barack Obama. But all of a sudden now it's a fucking problem after the last administration let in 25 million plus motherfucking illegals. The same illegals that built this country. Shit, I'm gonna get out of here, man. And remember, realize. Transparency forces accountability. Y'all keep your eyes to the stars and keep that head on a swivel. And as I said before, always move unorthodox and think outside the box. This way, they cannot stop your manifestation of order out of chaos. It'll be easy out there.